A radio presenter from Hits FM 91.2, and Ms. Manisa Ghimire, Senior Editor and News Presenter in Nepal Television. I'd like to request all of them to take the seat. Thank you. आसन ग्रहण गरिदिनु हुनको लागि हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्दछु. Thank you everyone for your kind presence to take the seat. Thank you, sir and ma'am. Now, I'd like to request the Board of Directors, Ms. Rama Suvedi, to take the seat. Mr. John Rahit Sindas to take the seat. Thank you, sir. Finally, I'd like to request all the parents and guardians and the invitees to take their respective seats. Thank you everyone for your kind presence. Our Asan Grahan कार्यक्रम is Buddhalakshmi Sakya and Ms. Resu Bisishrestha to offer the rosettes. I'd like to request everyone to put your hands together while rosette distribution is going on. Once again, I'd like to request everyone to please put your hands together for them. Thank you, teachers. Now, without wasting any time, I'd like to request today's chief guest to inaugurate the Thank you, everyone. And now, let me invite the Executive Chairman, Mr. Ranjanraj Trivedi, to the podium. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Roshana. Arenas, and most importantly, our parents and guardians provided continuous support throughout our journey. Our first annual function at Corona School premises, and 6 years, and I'm pleased to be speaking at the 6th annual function of Corona School, possible without your continuous trust and support towards the school. For every one of us, our country and the countrymen had to go through a lot. We had to suffer a lot, earthquake, and then struck by the blockade. Despite of all of these problems, issues, our sisters cooking on firewood to feed our kids, our drive without any sleep, teachers struggling to get on the public transport. However, we did not give up. I'd like to appreciate all of us who continuously they did all this so that our students' academics, our students' studies did not get disturbed. Similarly, I would also like to appreciate our parents. This cooperation will remain the same forever. Corona has taken one very important and big step towards the safety and security of students by considering that with this initiative, parents, students, and teachers feel safe, and the teaching learning experience will be even better at the 0th floor. So I will not take too long. I guess there was a traffic problem today, so we started a little late. I would like to apologize for that. And on Fagun 7th, happy Democracy Day, and hope the country will prosper and go in the right path very soon. So without any other further delay, I would like to welcome you all once again to the program, and thank you all for being part of
it live, and the props are made by the Cornians. Now here we present Mini Indra Jatra by the Cornians.
विशेष अवसरमा यहाँलाई हार्दिक शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्छु।
I'd also like to call upon our special guest, Mr. Mark Harris, on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for them. Mr. Mark Harris, Canadian artist and a social volunteer. फिल्म में एक्चुअली जोरदार ताली के साथ चालू करते हैं जिन्होंने अनुरोध करते हैं। Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. In this Parents' Day, we would like to honor one of our celebration Thank you, ma'am. We really highly appreciate her contribution. Mamata Khatri, Mess Staff of our school. Congratulations on this trip. She is being awarded with the certificate and the cash prize. Secondary in charge. Rest of this is rest of pre-primary in charge. Anjaguru, primary grade teacher. Now to announce the name of the winner, I'd like to request our principal ma'am to hand over the envelope.
Nobody knows this year.
Inspiring sa Mrs. Rosalie Sahi Thakuri. Happy birthday, welcome. Happy birthday, आपको प्रयास से आपने बहुत बड़े विधान कराई very inspiring. और यो आपको अच्छा लगेगा. Happy birthday, thank you. Would you like to say a few words?
हामीले भोटिङ त गर्यौं तर अहिले सम्म पनि अहिले देखिन हाम्रो प्रिन्सिपल म्यामले आफ्नै झोलाबाट निकालेर दिनुभयो मैले कति फुत्काउन खोजे नाम तर उहाँले भन्नु भएन थ्यांक यू सो मच मलाई बोल्न नै मन लागेन Okay, anyways, it's time for the speech by our principal. Before calling her on the stage, I would like to give her such introduction. Principal of Corona School, Ms. Sarita Gewari, received her bachelor's in broadcasting from University of Nebraska in Omaha and her master's in managerial in communication also from University in United States. She has been principal in the school for the past 6 years. Now, I'd like to invite our Honorable Principal, Ms. Sarita Gewari, to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome her.
Namaste and a very good afternoon. I, on behalf of Corona School, would like to welcome our chief guest, our special guests, and our lovely dear parents. This year started with a rough start. Here we are today celebrating our 6th annual function, and on this occasion, I would like to thank you all for being there throughout this tough time and supporting us. We would not have been here without your support today. र यो मौकामा मलाई एउटा सानो आफ्नो एक्सपिरियन्स शेयर पनि गर्न मन लाग्यो। वैशाख 12 गते शनिबार जुन फर्स्ट टाइम अर्थक्वेक आयो, त्यतिखेर हामी सबैजना फ्यामिली घरमै थियौं। हुन त इट वाज अ रियली बिग अर्थक्वेक, तर के भयो ला भन्दा भन्दै त्यतिखेर बित्यो। सेकेन्ड टाइम आई थिंक इट वाज अन बिहीबार, राइट? त्यतिखेर जुन सेकेन्ड अर्थक्वेक आयो, म स्कुलमा थिएँ, के भएको रहेछ कसो भएको रहेछ, हुन त आवर स्कुल वाज नट ओपन। एट दैट टाइम आई वाज देयर। मेरो बाबु नानी दुवैजना घरमा। हुन त सेकेन्ड अर्थक्वेक पहिलाको भन्दा सानो थियो, तर आफ्नो बच्चा साथमा नहुँदा जुन किसिमको प्यानिक मैले फिल गरेँ, इट वाज वे बिगर देन द फर्स्ट वान। त्यसपछि मलाई काम गरेका किन नहौ, हाम्रो बच्चा चाहिँ सेफ ठाउँमा छ भन्ने एउटा पिस अफ माइन्ड जुन हामीमा हुन्छ, त्यो नै संसारको सबैभन्दा ठुलो कुरा हो जस्तो एज अ प्यारेन्ट्स मैले फिल गरेँ। हुन त हाम्रो स्कुल यो क्यालिबरको थिएन कि ल अर्थक्वेक गयो, लेट्स कन्स्ट्रक्ट अ न्यू बिल्डिङ। तर पनि as we said, before being a management personnel of a school, I am a mother, I am a parent, I am a guardian. र मैले जसरी फिल गर्छु हाम्रा हरेक प्यारेन्ट्सहरूले त्यही नै फिल गर्नुहुन्छ। कहिले पनि भनेर त आउँदैन हामीलाई, फेरि नेपाल इज अलरेडी अर्थक्वेक प्रोन जोन। त्यो भइसकेपछि हामीले by hook or by crook, let's construct a building जहाँ चाहिँ हाम्रो बच्चाहरू सेकेन्ड फ्लोरमा बसेर पढ्न नपरोस्। So now resistance material, which is called I think prefab material ले बनेको zero floor project हामीले सुरु गरेका छौं। जस अन्तर्गत अहिले हुन त हाम्रो प्रिस्कुलको बच्चाहरू सधैँ फर्स्ट ब्लकमै पढ्नु हुन्थ्यो, थ्रु 9th क्लाससम्म नन अफ द किड्स सबैजना दे वर भेरी सपोर्टिभ। आवर भ्यान ड्राइभर्स समटाइम्स अब एउटै बसले 2-3 ट्रिप गर्नुपर्ने हुँदाखेरि अलिकति ढिला त भयो होला। एन्ड एज फार एज आई क्यान रिमेम्बर धर्मस्थलीको एउटा बस एक दिन मिस भएको थियो र अर्थक्वेकले सुरुमै यति दिनहरू मिस भइसकेका थिए कि हाम्रो फेरि क्राइसिस टाइममा हामीले स्कुल मिस गर्न सक्ने सिचुएसनमै हामी थिएनौँ। सो बाई होक अर बाई क्रोक वी ह्याड टु रन द क्लासेस। अनि यो गभर्मेन्ट हलिडेजहरूले हामीले कट डाउन गरेर हाम्रो छुटेको करिकुलम एकाडेमिक्स करिकुलमलाई चाहिँ हामीले अहिले खाना पकाएर अनि त्यो खरानी लागेको भाँडा माझ्न इट वाज नट भेरी इजी, बट दे नेभर कम्प्लेन्ड। सेम थिङ all of our parents were very supportive. कतिजना प्यारेन्ट्सहरूले आएर म्याम फाइनेन्शियली अलिकति सपोर्ट चाहिन्छ भने we are willing to भनेर भन्नु पनि भएको थियो। and that was enough for us to say alright, we have a moral support, we can do this। र अगेन यो तर जहाँसम्म लाग्छ नयाँ प्यारेन्ट्सहरूले because of all this disturbances in the starting of the year, यो वर्ष हामीले चाहे जति इसिए एक्टिभिटिजहरू प्रोभाइड गर्न सकेनौँ र जुन हामीले स्कुलमै गर्ने गर्थ्यौँ फुटबल बास्केटबल त्यो पनि कन्स्ट्रक्सनका कारण वी वर नट एबल टु प्रोभाइड इट। तर अब नयाँ कन्स्ट्रक्सन हुँदैछ, नयाँ फुटबल ग्राउन्ड र बास्केटबल ग्राउन्ड सुड बी रेडी बाई न्यू एकाडेमिक सेसन। यतिखेरदेखि विगतमा भएका चिजहरू त छँदैछन्, अझ थप एडिसनल इसिए एक्टिभिटिजहरू आवर चाइल्ड विल बी एबल टु इन्जोय इट। One thing I need to mention it today is it was Corona International School before, but as per government regulation we have removed international र अहिले हामी Corona School छौं। We have removed international but have raised our standards. I'm pretty sure you can also feel that. अनि अब we will be upgraded to grade 10 this year. यो नयाँ academic session देखि this is going to be our first SLC batch. We're trying really hard कि हाम्रो 100% distinction ल्याउनको लागि all the teachers, all the students, whole Corona family and our parents, we all are trying really hard. र मैले अघि नै भने हैन, सबैभन्दा पहिला म्यानेजमेन्ट पर्सनल हुनुभन्दा पहिला म एउटा मदर र एउटा गार्जियन हो र एक किसिमले कोरोना स्कुलको स्टुडेन्ट्सको एउटा गार्जियनशिपको हक लाग्छ मलाई, जस्तो मलाई फिल पनि हुन्छ। एन्ड कतिपय कुराहरू आई कल प्यारेन्ट्स समटाइम्स एन्ड सेयर इट विथ देम। र आज आई वुड लाइक टु रिक्वेस्ट यु, दिस इज अ हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट, हाम्रो बच्चाहरूले जुन इन्टरनेट युसेज गर्नुहुन्छ नि त्यसलाई प्लिज यहाँहरूले गाइड गरिदिनुहोस्। हरेक कोइन हैज अ टू साइड्स अफ अ कोइन भनेको जस्तो हरेक राम्रो चिजको नराम्रो पक्ष पनि हुन्छ. इट्स नट नेसेसरी कि मेरो बच्चा कम्प्युटर अगाडि बसेको छ भन्दैमा सबै राम्रो कुरा उसले सिकिराखेको हुनसक्छ. सो प्लिज गाइड देम. उहाँहरूको इन्टरनेट युसेज कस्तो छ र इफ आई क्यान यदि सकिन्छ भने भन्नुभन्दा पनि आई डोन्ट थिङ्क इट्स necessary or they know how to properly use it. 16 years नपुगेसम्म सोशल नेटवर्किङ साइट्स फेसबुक अकाउन्ट्सहरू यस्तोहरू बच्चालाई खोल्न नदिउँ. आफ्टर दे पास एसएलसी तिमी एसएलसी पास गर अनि त्यसपछि विल लेट यु डु द्याट भनौँ. र यदि उहाँहरूलाई युजै गर्नु छ भने पनि इट्स ओके टु कन्ट्याक्ट विथ देयर फ्रेन्ड्स एन्ड एभ्रिथिङ मम्मी ड्याडीकोबाट गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ. विथ दिस हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट, our parents, our teachers, students, all of us have worked really hard, and I can see that eagerness in your eyes. So I would like to end my speech here, and please sit back, relax, and enjoy the Parents' Day program. Thank you.
Yes. What's the ruler was a bit incorrect?
Yes. How is it done?
This way.
Alright,
let's begin.
Timmy auto!
Hey guys, what's up? Are you all prepared for the annual function of our school?
Annual function?
Is it today? What about the annual congratulations for the host of this program?
How can we forget? Just 2 minutes and I'll be back in 2.
Wow, what a crowd! Just the number of parents. What do you think? 300 rising values.
I'm back.
Me too. Alright, let's begin.
Ladies and gentlemen,
May I have your kind attention, please? A very, very warm good afternoon to all of you.
Welcome, parents, guardians, and our beloved brothers and sisters.
we are so pleased to have you here on the occasion of
Annual Function 2072.
of Corona School. Tasitele, it's me, Samita Patel from grade 8.
Assalamualaikum. It's me, Anushka from grade 5. Jodhpur, and you all will be Rajam from grade 4. Lasakusa. Ni hao, and it's me, Deepak from grade 4.
And namaste, it's me, Geetika Garbiza from grade 9.
We all are here as the host of this program.
We'd like to request all of our parents and guardians to sit back and enjoy our program.
Thank you.
Today, there are parents trying to cope with the crisis communities are facing. Please welcome them with a huge round of applause.
Thank you.
नमस्कार, म गरिमा जोशी म सूत्रधारको पक्षमा आफ्नो भूमिका निर्वाह गर्दैछु. हाम्रो नाटकको शीर्षक छ कुरा होइन काम गरौँ. हामीले देखाएको नाटक काल्पनिक हो. यदि कसैको वास्तविक जीवनसँग मेल खान गएन संयोग मात्र हुनेछ. सुरु हुँदैछ नाटक कुरा होइन काम गरौँ. दृश्य 1, कक्षा कोठाको वातावरण. Era अब चाहिँ आऊ अहिले त मान्छेलाई पनि अलिअलि गर्न सकिन्छ तर ग्यास सब्जीलाई त सबैलाई पनि देखिन्छ कहाँ बेमा सबको बारे आउँछ अहिले बस्नु अहिले ग्यास आउँछ वार्तालाप आजकलको पत्रिकामा पनि केही राम्रो खबर गर्नु पाइँदैन
ला बसिरहेको हेरेर नेताहरूको नयाँ नेपाल बेला पुगेर आइरहेको छ दिदी पढे मान्छे खुरुक्क अमेरिकामा गएर देश मात्र भन्नुभयो अब बस्नु अन्धकारमा दुमदुम्थे
तिनीहरूको पनि सल्लाह नै है मेरो नाम के टिभी भएर भन त तिनीहरू भाषाले मेरो नाम स्वयमान हो भनेर स्वयमान नाम भएको मान्छे कहिले आफ्नो देश आएर विदेशतिर फराइन हुन्छ होला त
तपाईँको राष्ट्रियताले आफूलाई पनि बनाएन हामीले पनि बनाउनु भएन
हेर्ने राष्ट्रियको नाम भएको मान्छे आफ्नो खोज्नु हो नि हेर न बाबु तिम्रो म यति कुरामा जिसाउँछु
तपाईँले चेन्ज गरिदिन्छ दादा भूकम्प गएको यतिका दिन भइसक्यो तर पनि क्लासमा पढाइ गरिरहेको बेलामा साथीहरू भर्खर भूकम्प आएको थाहा पाइस् भनेर तर्साइरहन्छन् हाम्रो कोरोना स्कुल कति सुरक्षित छ नगरपालिकाको भूकम्प गए पनि केही होइन भन्न त भन्छु नि तर पनि पढ्नको बारे होला साथीहरू भूकम्प आयो मात्र भनिरहन्छन्
छोरी बाबु तिनीहरू त्यस्तै हो
ल हजुर आयो हजुर आइहाल्यो हजुर बन्दाको मित्र गाई हजुर एकदम सस्तो हजुर एकदम सस्तो हजुर तुरुन्तै जानु हजुर के भयो हजुर बन्दाकोपी कसरी बन्दाकोपी बन्दाकोपी त हजुर मटिरियल पेट्रोलको हजुर
के रहेछ
मटिरियल पेट्रोल हजुर मटिरियल पेट्रोल
ए भाइ पाउँछ
हजुर
पेट्रोल कति नि
पेट्रोल कति मटिरियल दिन्छ हजुर तुरुन्तै ल्याउनु
हेलो दिन्छ मैले मात्र दिन्छ
कहाँ पाउनु बुझ्दैन हजुर मटिरियल पेट्रोल हजुर मटिरियल एकदम सस्तो हजुर तुरुन्तै ल्याउनु
मैले मात्र कति नि
मटिरियल दिन्छ हजुर एकदम सस्तो हजुर तुरुन्तै ल्याउनु
म कामले दिनु त
कहाँ हजुर घोडा हजुर
आज त एक लिटर कहिले दिने है
के गर्नु होला मटिरियल पेट्रोल हजुर मटिरियल एकदम सस्तो हजुर तुरुन्तै ल्याउनु हजुर चलियो हजुर पुरानो प्यान्ट भने 50 रुपियाँ घटाएर दिन्छु हजुर तुरुन्तै ल्याउनु हजुर लिनु हजुर हजुर नाकाबन्दी नि गर्नै गयो मोमो नाकाबन्दी भनेको मान्छेले बन्द गर्ने हो ल हेर पवित्र नाम भएको छोरीले नाकाबन्दी शब्दको अर्थ थाहा छैन जुन गोरुको सिङ छैन त्यसकै नाम सिकेर चाहिँ कहाँ भने हुन्छ अनि अर्को नाम पनि त राष्ट्रियता हो नि राष्ट्रियता नाम भएकी मान्छेले नेपाली च्यानल खाएर किन टिभीले गर्दैन नि उनीहरूका 3-5 भने यस्तै होला गोरु नाकाबन्दी भनेको नाक बन्द गर्ने होइन मुख बन्द गर्ने हो कि
ल छोरीको गाडी मैले पनि माने
त्यसो भए नाकाबन्दी शब्दको अर्थ तपाईँ भनिदिनुहोस् न त
सुन सुनेको नाका
नाका
भनेको बाटो हो हाम्रो देशलाई 3 तिरबाट भारत छ र 1 तिरबाट चिनेलीहरू छ र हाम्रो देशमा नभएको सामान भारतको नाकाबन्दी राम्रो छ र अहिले नाका बन्द छ र यसैले नाकाबन्दी भनेको बुझ्यौ छोरी
मुझे पक्का है टीचरको नामले हाम्रो स्कुलमै भन्नुभएको छ नि अनि थाहा भयो त्यसो होला त सबै कुरा छ र गाई त भन्थे अनि उसले त मलाई माया गर्नु पर्यो नि गीत भएर खुसी पापा हामी नेपाली धेरै अल्छी भएर भारतले नाकाबन्दी गरेको रहे हो
सुन छोरी हामी आफ्नो दाजुभाइले सरकारको गाह्रो मान्छौँ किनेर खान सजिलो मान्छौँ र यही कारणले गर्दा अहिले हाम्रो नाकाबन्दीको दुरुपयोग गरेको बुझ्यौ छोरी
मुझे पक्का मम्मी आज स्कुलमा टिचरहरू मनाएन नि उनीहरू त म्याथको लाइनमा पो गएका रहेछन् हेर कस्तो बिचल्ली
तिनीहरूको गाउँमा कति सहयोग गरेका छोरीले दावा भात पकाएर स्कुल पढ्नु त कहाँ छ कहाँ झन् उल्टो स्कुल निस्क्यो नि
घरमा पनि बोल्दा उसले कहाँ पाइन्छ र तपाईँले त स्वाभिमान हुन्छ नि सबै यत्रो जलस्रोत भनिराख्छ यहाँ न त बिहान बेलुका घालमा पानी आउँछ न त घालमा बत्ती नै आउँछ बुझ्नेलाई पो सिखन्छ नबुझ्नेलाई खुट्टाको बिचको हाम्रो देश
अब एकपल्ट तिमीले देशको प्रधानमन्त्री बन्नु पर्ला जस्तो अनि बोल्न हाम्रो देशको विकास सुन्दर छ अहिले पनि महिलाले छन् इजेक्ट राष्ट्रपति
बोल्न पाएको पनि नि मजाले रहर मात्र पुऱ्याउने हो र देशै बनाउँथे नि तर तपाईँहरू पुलिसले यत्रो ट्याग गर्नु होला यति सजिलै
भयो धेरै नम्बरहरूको कुरुका हिनिसले खायो अर्को तरकारी गाडीमा तरकारी ल्याउँ कमसेकम बिसारी नहालेको तरकारी खानु पाइन्छ र किन्नु जानु नपर्ने
बोबो तपाईँ पनि नेपाली जस्ता ठुल्ठुला कुरा पनि त हो नि बिहान बिहान ब्याडमिन्टन खेल्न जानु सक्छ घरको काम गर्न यहाँले पनि त हुन्छ नि बिहान बिहान ब्याडमिन्टन खेल्ने पनि पुरुषको त पेसा नै भइसक्यो घरमा श्रीमतीलाई भ्याइ नभएछ उनीहरू भने बिहानको नाममा बिहानै ब्याडमिन्टनको नाममा बिहानै बिताइदिन्छन् घरको काम गर्नु नि के हुन्छ नि एक्सर्साइज गरिरहेको शनिबार हामी सबैजना मिलेर 1 घन्टा जति कलेजको बारीमा काम गरौँ न अनि बाहिरको खाना किन्नै पर्दैन नि
यसो गर्नु पाएर गर्छन् भने बिसारी हाम्रो तरकारी पनि खान नपर्ने स्वामी लाउने पनि पर्ने
नाकाबन्दीले हामी सबैको आँखा खुले हाम्रो हैसियत पनि देखाइदियो अब हामी सबै जागरुक बन्नै पर्छ म त झन् आफ्नो नाम साटा पढाउन मैले काम त गर्नै पर्छ नि मैले सेवा गर्छु मम्मीलाई मेरो त नामै देशभक्त यसको भविष्यको कर्णधार म पनि कलेजको बारी अभियानमा लागेको त हुँदैन नि
देशव्यापी रूपमा हामी सबै नेपाली एक भएर देश विकासमा जुटौँ न त
ल अब अगाडि कुरा मिलेपछि हाइता गर्नुपर्छ
After university, Mark moved to Sindhupalchok with the dream of opening up a community arts center to invite artists from around the world to create projects in hills. Mark was in Melamsi during the two
Last lagyo. Time, there's before and then you have Bukambapatsi. So I too have a story like this. At the time of the earthquake, I was living just outside Melamchi in Sindhupalchok. We had an old mud and stone house that we were turning into an art studio. म कलाकार हो म चित्र बनाउँछु अनि गीत पनि गाउँछु सो यो मेरो रहर म आर्ट स्टुडियो बनाउनु मन छु हिमालमा so the project had started earlier that year, and the day before the earthquake we held a small program with songs and dancing for the local children. When it stuck, when the earthquake came, I was inside the house and the walls started shaking. And मेरो विचारमा ठुलो डोजर आउँछ तर डोजर होइन त्यसपछि म छिटो भागेको अनि 5 सेकेन्डपछि गार बाक्यो So I quickly realized that it wasn't a dozer. So I ran out of the house and I watched a crack go up the side of the wall and then the whole thing came down. So I was running down the street and above me were these power lines moving sort of like wadi padi. And I thought, I should get away from the electricity. And after that I heard 2 children scream. They had been at the dance party the night before. They ran towards me and I held them there with an arm around each as if they were my own children to shield them from whatever harm I could. We were trembling with fear, and then a few seconds later it stopped. The valley in Helambu, it looked like it had been bombed. There were clouds of dust that had risen up from each of the houses, from the river right to the top of the hills. And these clouds, like gravestones, marked where the houses had been. A friend of mine screamed out to me from his spot in a rice paddy where he was waiting. He feared I may have still been trapped in the house. We counted heads and saw that everyone in our group was alive before joining with the neighbors to sit in our field. The tremors sounded like falling bombs echoing through the valley. I suggested to David that maybe World War III had started and bombs were landing in China because we just kept hearing boom, boom. It was very scary. So we sat in a circle, we held hands, feeling every tremor shoot up your spine. The women among us shouted, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, as if they were feeling that at any moment the earth would open up and eat us. In some sense we were waiting to die, but on that day we did not die. Our first night was spent in that rice paddy. The men among us made us a shelter with scraps from broken houses. One of the fearless among us ran into his half-broken house to take a bag of potatoes, and we ate, all 15 of us, sleeping shoulder to shoulder, using some plastic tarps as a blanket. In the evening, the army came by to see if any of us were trapped in the house, dead or badly injured. My friend Tashi said to the soldier, like, "Aaj rati makha bosne," and he, like, "Ke khane?" And the soldier said, are you stupid? You know, there are people dying right now. But again, in this sort of trauma, that's all you think about: where to sleep, what to eat. So the army who were based in Melamchi were working overtime, and in the weeks that followed, their base became a central point for coordinating relief efforts and medical outreach. And I heard that immediately after the quake, the soldiers, with no concern for their own safety, being very brave, climbed into the broken buildings while they were still shaking to save the lives of many trapped. In the days following, we sat in a cornfield and waited for the tremors to stop, building more structures and buying what tarps we could. We watched body after body being brought down from the river on makeshift stretchers. Jeeps drove around to broken houses collecting woods to prepare a funeral. We wandered through the town in shell shock as we watched helicopters fly over us, some from India, many from Nepal, day after day, just collecting and rescuing people. As we walked, there were two questions that you would ask someone. The first one is, "Hey, तपाईको घर बाक्यो?" And most people say, "Hey, मेरो घर बाक्यो." And the next question is like, "Ani parivar thik cha?" And "Hey, thik cha, thik cha." And there was a kind of joy that came out of knowing, okay, your house is broken, my house is broken, but we're okay. And it felt like a kind of second life, a new beginning. And the earthquake for all of us was a great leveling force, for we were all equal in that time. We were all equally victims. Even Pratanda had to sleep outside on this time. So from Melamchi, I heard these terrible stories about Kathmandu. We imagined that in a city there'd be hundreds of thousands of people dead with bodies on the streets, and we were very nervous about coming back. But thankfully, when we came back, this wasn't the case. The houses, most of them were still standing, and people in their camps were eating momos and watching, videos on their laptops. Very different than in the village. And that's when I realized that it wasn't earthquakes that were dangerous. It's not the shaking of the ground, but it's the buildings that we live in, the buildings that we work in, and the buildings that we study in. The house I was living in was made with these round stones, like balloons, just stacked with mud. So a little bit of shaking was all it needed for it to fall. But those houses in the region that were built properly with cement and with rods, they had cracks in the walls, but the buildings were still standing. So sadly, the disaster, the earthquake struck those for whom life was already difficult. They had no alternative but to build with stone and with mud. And while the earthquake for a short time made everyone feel equal, in the months following, it actually made the inequality between the haves and the have-nots much bigger. We here in Kathmandu can have houses and carry on with life, but those now who were already struggling before the earthquake are under very difficult circumstances. The earthquake may have brought the nation together, but in the aftermath it began to tear it apart once more with accusations of corruption, of misspent relief money, and favoritism. Nice homes in Kathmandu had Red Cross-sponsored tents in the driveway where they would later store their motorbikes, while villages in Sindhu Palchok continued to survive under dire conditions. But while the outcome of the disaster changes depending on where you are and what your background was, I think everyone carries this sense of trauma with them. I know if you hear a plane flying by or a truck going by, or if someone shakes the table like that, your heart rate speeds up and you think, oh, do I have to run? And this is the trauma that we all carry. And it triggers a panic. Now when I walk through the streets of Patan, I'm always looking up thinking, where do I run if the streets start to fall down on me? And this fear and this trauma affects all of us equally. And in that sense, we're all victims of the quake. It was very, very lucky that the quake happened on a Saturday afternoon, not on a school day or not in the middle of the night. And still we are told to expect that another one will come soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe in 100 years, but they say it's coming. And some say it might even be bigger than the last one. And it's with this in mind that rebuilding is of the most importance for the future of Nepal. And I think it's with this in mind that Corona School created the zero-story classroom. It's fully earthquake resistant with prefab building materials, so that the parents, the teachers, and the students have a peace of mind, knowing that they will be safe while in the school. I think this school, Corona School, has taken measures far beyond the basic repairs of just fixing the cracks and carrying on, and building new structures that will withstand the next quake. I wish more schools would follow the lead of Corona in ensuring the safety of the children who are the nation's future. So I would like to thank you for this opportunity to speak and share my short story. It's been a great honor to be here, to be among the chief guests, and with Sarita ji and Ranjan ji for organizing this lovely program. So thank you very much.
On April 25th. Yet, we Nepalese people stood hand in hand to face the natural calamities. All our Nepalese fathers, mothers, uncles, aunties, brothers, and sisters were in a huge trauma. But, as the saying goes, time heals all the pain. It was proved correct, and here we are in front of you here performing today.
The inspirational words given by our guest speaker, Mr. Mark Harris, has given us a lot of strength and vigor. Hope he did the same to you as well.
अब म कक्षाएका बहिनीहरूलाई नृत्य प्रस्तुत गर्न मञ्चमा निम्त्याउन चाहन्छु.
In the song, गैरी खेतको सिरै हाल्यो.
Please welcome them with a big round of applause.
Hope you all enjoy it.
Thank you.
मात्र होइन मेरा मामा नेपाली, मनमा मेरा राष्ट्रियता भाषा नेपाली, नेपालमा जन्मे म त जाति नेपाली, हिमाल मेरो उत्तरतिर दक्षिण तराई, सबैजना आफन्त हो होइन पराई, के को कामी के को राई के को दमाई, आओ सबै मिली गरौँ नेपालको रक्षा एकै भई, जे गरे नि हामी सबै सिङ्गो नेपाली। धन्यवाद।